All right, let's get started, everyone. First, I just want to say thank you guys for joining me today on the workshop. I'm super excited about today's session with everyone. What we're going to focus on today is building your 2025 internet marketing plan. And the emphasis of what we want to focus on is helping you maximize your lead flow online. In other words, to maximize your visibility and dominance and online when it comes to your service area in order to generate more leads and more sales online for 2025. We have a lot of stuff we're going to cover today, but what I really want to focus on today is to help make sure that you have clear goals for 2025 as it relates to your digital marketing plan. And it comes down to analyzing how many leads you actually need to generate on a monthly basis in order to hit your monthly and your annual revenue targets. And then next is the three fundamentals to online marketing success. We'll get into that a little more. We'll also cover how to optimize your website for conversions in 2025 and beyond. Of course, Google is constantly moving the target with their algorithm updates. So props to you for being on a workshop like this and making sure that you get the latest up-to-date information. Also, we'll talk about the big picture of all the online marketing channels that you should be tapping into to maximize your lead flow. This is what we call our online dominance method. We talk about the key methods and marketing channels that you should really be tapping into. And then I'll spend some time on the latest trends in digital marketing. There's some new things that have come out in the last 6 to 12 months that are really making a big impact in the digital marketing space and on your overall marketing strategy. So I want to make sure that you all know about those different trends and that you're tapping into them and that you don't miss the boat on that front. So that's going to be some really exciting stuff that we're diving into. And then we'll really talk about diving into how you develop your own custom action plan based on where you're at right now, where you're looking to go, and help you gain some clarity on what you and your team should be focused on to really maximize your sales potential going into 2025. So, just a quick blurb about me and why you should listen to me. I'm admittedly a computer geek from way back in the late '80s when I first had to learn how to write code. But also, I'm integrated and in deep in the remodeling industry and helping the entire community. We're associate members of the NAHB, of NARI, and NKBA. I am a former home remodeler and custom home builder, real estate flipper. So I've been in the trenches with you guys. Also, the Internet Marketing for Contractors and Builders. Really good book. If you're interested, drop a note in the chat and I'll send you out a copy if you need some reading material to put you to sleep at night. This is what we do. We work with builders, contractors, remodeling companies all across the country. So, we do have a little bit of experience when it comes to what works and what doesn't work. This is all we do. We only work with home improvement companies, remodelers, builders, that sort of thing, to help them increase their sales from the internet and ultimately to help them increase their annual revenue. We have an expert team of specialists that are each trained in their particular discipline, whether it be SEO or running pay-per-click ads or crafting social media calendars. But the main driving force is that we're really passionate about what we do. We work exclusively with the home improvement industry, and that is all we do all day, every day. We're not trying to be the jack of all trades, master of none, like some of the big box marketing companies out there that claim to be experts at working in every different industry out there. It's simply not possible. And so, if at some point you'd like the opportunity to talk about what you've got going on and how we can help you, or just maybe give you some guidance, that's not what the objective of today's workshop is about. We're here to learn and to really put a marketing plan into place, to think forward into 2025 and what you could be doing differently. But feel free to go on our website, schedule a session with me if you want to sit and talk, kind of talk about a plan that we can put in place for you, kind of what makes sense for you and where your company's at. But for now, let's just get back into the heart of the matter here and deciding how we can help you with your marketing strategy for 2025. So before we get started, I really want to hear from you guys in the comments. We got a ton of people on the call, just over about Looks like about 60 or so people registered here on the webinar. So I'd love to hear from everyone on the call and get some feedback and input along the way. You're going to get much more learning out of the session if you engage, if you really think about what your goals are and what's going to be the marketing channels that you need to focus on to get to those goals at the end of 2025 so that you can really get the results that you want. So I'm going to ask you guys to be interactive. I'm going to ask you guys to comment in the chat. So I want to hear from you in the comments. First question, what is the hardest part about marketing your home improvement business online? Just post in the comments. I'd like to hear from a couple of you at least to kind of gain some insights. Uh, Russell says, bringing in more high quality leads, high quality in capital letters. Yeah, that makes sense, Russell. Obviously, you can get a lot of phone calls, but how many are actually leads and good quality leads? Barry wants to get noticed amongst all the competition. Yeah, of course. Mandy says, getting a more consistent and steady flow of leads to keep her crews busy. William says to be able to track his ROI better. I was just talking with someone about that the other day, William. They really don't know what their ROI is from the different marketing channels that they're employing. So you really, if you don't know your numbers, you don't know where you're at. You don't know where you're going. So that really makes sense there. Good one there, William. Colleen says. She wants to get over crappy marketing companies that don't deliver results. And so, Colleen, I guess you're meaning all the companies that want to sell you something that don't actually do what they say they're going to do or deliver you the results that they promised. Unfortunately, there's a lot of that out there that we find nowadays. I hear that complaint over and over and over. That's the complaint I hear most often. It's that's why we specialize in the industry and have really been able to excel and help our partners. Um, Natalie also says who to trust with your marketing, who you can really count on that can be relied upon to get you good results. So yeah, kind of same thing um, that Colleen was saying there. So great feedback. Keep those comments coming in. Another comment that the proper keywords to be targeted on your website in order to rank better. Yeah, I've talked to several people this past week that they have keywords that just aren't even ranking whatsoever. They got a couple good keywords that are ranking, maybe some of the obvious ones. It's in your company name or something, but all the other keywords that can really boost your revenue, really help you grow your company. You're not ranking anywhere on the map for those. So that's really big is to know those keywords. Um, Finding a marketing company that actually can generate results. So yeah, another theme there. Price shoppers, all the price shoppers that you get. So that kind of goes back to what we were talking about, getting better high quality leads. So great job, everyone. I can't go through all the comments, but I really like you guys engaging on this workshop. Business owners that are willing to engage and get the most from these sessions. Those are the ones that are typically really pushing the envelope, trying to be more innovative, and are typically the ones that are having more success in their companies too, because they're engaged, they're involved. The answer to that age-old question is that there is no magic formula. There's no one-size-fits-all marketing that's out there in existence. You need to guide your own marketing efforts based on the areas that you need to improve upon, which may be different from your other remodeling business owner colleagues, other competitors of yours that maybe you know a little bit about. Of course, always remember that making small changes can really have a big impact on the results and goals that you're trying to achieve. So try to make those small steps at least. Take those baby steps and don't try to do everything all at once. And then, as we start to dive into 2025, the first thing you need to be thinking about is setting clear goals. You really can't reach a goal if you don't set one to begin with. I like quoting this Harvard study that was done way back when because it really shows that the graduates that had set goals, they are the ones that actually achieve their goals, as well as end up making twice as much as their classmates that didn't articulate their goals. So. I'm not going to read through all this. You can read why I'm talking here, but you can see that, the ones that had the thought out, written goals ended up earning as much as 10 times more salary, more revenue than their counterparts that didn't really set any goals coming out of college. These are Harvard grads. These are supposed to be smart people too. So that stat in and of itself, I think, really makes setting some goals worthwhile, if you ask me. And my goal setting framework is obviously to have written goals and plans. You need to set a minimum of a 1 year goal, quarterly goals, and then what we call monthly goals, monthly sprints. And then you also need to have a stopping point. And this is where I find that most people miss out on this. They've set a goal, and they did this for years. And I've done this myself back in the early days. I would set a goal and then just kind of, not really pay attention through it throughout the year. I think about it more so in January and February. Put some goals into maybe a work document, maybe even put it up on a whiteboard in my office, and then I kind of lost track of it. It had some benefit because I was thinking about my goals and putting them down on paper. But the true power of goals is knowing that you're going to put it into place, and then you're going to hold yourself accountable for it, or your team's going to hold you accountable for it. So you know you've got this target date that you have to hit that goal by. So a goal really isn't a goal unless you have a target date by which to attain that particular goal. So your goal may be to do perhaps 250,000 a month in revenue in 2025, 3 million a year. And know that you're going to stop at the end of the year and you're going to say, hey, did we hit that goal or not? And if yes, then great. You're going to celebrate that. You're going to celebrate with the team. You're going to take them all out to dinner, big end of year celebration. But if you don't hit that goal, then you need to think about, okay, you need to reevaluate. What did I do wrong? Did I not generate enough leads? Did I not convert at a high enough level in the field? Do we not have a high enough average ticket value? Are you not charging enough? Charging half of what your competitors are charging? And so then you can make adjustments in that, the start of the next year to get better and make sure that following year is even better. And then you can work on hitting that next goal for the following year. So just, kind of really think about this in steps and not trying to bite off all this at once and tell yourself where you're going to be in 5 years or 10 years. Take it step by step. I find that when you buy into the power of goals and then you set and put this type of ritual in place where you set the goals, you have a stopping point, you have something that you and your team are pressing forward towards. You're talking about it every week in your level 10 meetings. You're talking about it monthly. You can really start to build momentum and build what I think is the most valuable muscle that you can develop, which is a muscle that's the ability to set an intention, to do the activity and to accomplish that result. So, when you can really build that muscle, you can accomplish anything you want in your life and in your business for that matter. I really want that for you guys. And that's why we're spending the first, 10, 12 minutes here of today's session, really talking about goals. You really need to have a goal to know where you're going and how you're going to get there. Um, and so the first thing, if you could wave a magic wand and kind of project forward to the end of 2025, how much revenue do you want to end with in 2025? And then break that down and what is that going to be in monthly revenue so that you can kind of bite this off 1 month at a time and not set that goal now and look at it in 12 months and say, did you accomplish it or not? Let's look at it every month. Are we on track? Are we off track? What do we need to do to change that? And so as simple as you're going to do whatever it is, that 3 million I talked about, divide that by 12 months. What's that come out to on a monthly basis? So really write this out, you guys. I can't see you, so you can cheat on me, but write this out and really try to manifest this destiny for your company. Because if you're writing this out, you are setting your intention right there. You're already taking that first step forward. So, what is that target revenue for you in 2025, and what's that going to look like monthly in order to make that happen? And so I've got a couple comments rolling here. Joe says they're shooting for 5 million. So awesome. That's, I don't know, a little over 400K per month. That's great. Joe, good luck on that. Michael is shooting for 500,000 for annual revenue. So, Michael's in a different place than Joe is, 500,000 versus 5 million. Everyone is not a multi-million dollar company or an eight-figure or even a nine-figure company. So, just think about your situation and don't, really try to keep up with the Joneses. Lawrence says he wants to get to 1 million in revenue this year. I know what that is. That's 83K a month because that used to be our goal a few years ago to hit that finally hit that seven-figure mark. We can say, hey, I am $1 million company. So, Lawrence, good luck on that. Looking forward to you join the club. Hit me up with a text or an email or something. Let me know when you get there. We'll celebrate that together over the phone or in Zoom. Excellent goal, though. That's quite a milestone to get to that seven-figure club. So I'll definitely be rooting for you. Um, who else has goals? Who else wants to post in comments? Who's working through these numbers? Tony says 3.5 million. Ken's also at five. Jeremy, 750. So yeah, so we're kind of all over the place there. We've got partners that we work with that are at eight figures. They're over that 10 million mark. So there's a lot of variance here, and then you just got to think about what works for you and what it's going to take to get there to keep growing. So thanks for those comments, folks. It really gets those creative juices flowing when you're engaging, and that's really what we want to do. I want to feel that invigorated sense of achievement and what's possible for your business, and hopefully you're going to feel that as well. So now what we want to do is reverse engineer your target revenue goal. So based on that, how many calls are you going to have to generate in order to make that goal a reality? So to figure that out, write down your target revenue. How much is that monthly? And then what is your average transaction value? I know different folks on this call. We've got a ton of folks on here. Some of your average ticket values may be only $15,000, $20,000, while others on here, I know your average ticket value is in that 2 to 500K range and even on up. You're doing those big jobs, those big remodeling jobs. So but if you divide that monthly revenue needed by your average transaction value, that's going to give you an idea of how many closed jobs that you actually need. And then how many calls will you need to run on a monthly basis in order to hit that target? How many calls will you need? The clearer you are on that, where you're going, where you're at, where you're going to end, and then what you need to do in order to get there, the better off you can build this plan to fill in that lead flow. So I'm going to just give you a couple seconds here. Make sure you got those numbers. Andrew posted that's about 14 jobs per month for him for his goal. Ken saying he only needs 5 jobs per month. So it's going to be different. It could be one job per month for some of you doing those big jobs. It could be 20, 30, 50 jobs a month for some of you other folks on here. And then you want to figure out, what your average conversion ratio is and divide that by your target number of calls. And that's how many leads you're going to actually need to generate in order to reach that goal. So, based on your conversion rate, say you're one out of three of your consultations get booked, 33%, one out of three. You divide your target number of jobs needed by that conversion rate. So in the previous slide, we talked, we need, 5 jobs. So you're going to divide your conversion rate into that, and that's going to get you to the total number of leads that you need each month in order to hit that goal. And that's how you get a more clear picture on the marketing that you're going to need to be doing. If you're 5 jobs doesn't sound like a lot, but if your closing rate's only one out of three, you're going to need 15 solid leads. I don't mean 15 phone calls. We track phone calls. We track the ones that turn out to be quality leads. We track the ones that turn into design consultations, closed jobs, revenue, everything. So you really need to kind of hash out these numbers. Put these numbers up on your whiteboard in your office. Let that remind everyone, you and your team, every day what your goal is for that day, for that week, for that month. That power of visualization works really, really well at keeping you on track to hit your goals. And then the next step we want to make sure we're paying close attention to, and we've updated this constantly for our clients is your marketing message. Oftentimes we want to leave our marketing to whoever it is that handles the marketing strategy and just think, whatever, they know what's going on, they know how to get you in front of the right audience. We're really good at this here at Home Remodeler SEO, but that's because we specialize in this industry. Maybe not everyone in your marketing department or that came to your company or marketing companies you're using, maybe they don't really specialize or have the experience to really dial in that marketing message. And so you want to make sure that you're really taking a look at that, and that when it comes down to it, the onus is on you to, as the owner of the business or as the director of marketing for your business, to really understand these three key fundamentals of your marketing message. Who your market is it residential services or is it commercial? Who is your ideal customer? In other words, who is the homeowner? Is it the female of the household, the male? What's their age? What are the other demographics and commonalities that you need to know about? The clearer you can be on who your ideal customer is, you can actually craft messaging on why they should choose you versus working with the competition. And so this is why I spend some time on this here in our 2025 marketing planning session. It's because your message should be unique. It should be something that makes you stand out. It should really resonate with your ideal customer. And really that message and market match, that's what informs us of the type of media and the marketing channels we should be using. In other words, what we do with your website, what the directory sites that we're working on, Google local service ads, pay-per-click ads, social media, wherever you're putting your marketing messaging at. So you really want to spend some time fine tuning that message so that we can make sure it really resonates. What I know is when we have a message that resonates, that's on target with our ideal customer, the customer that we want, everything that you're doing from a marketing perspective will work better. Your lead generation will pull in better leads for you. Your average value from your average lead is probably going to go up, and so it comes down to just really getting clear on who that ideal customer is and dialing in that marketing message for them. The best way to do this is just to spend a little time thinking about your ideal customer, the customer that you really want to work with, the customer that isn't a pain in the neck, but that's willing to pay a premium. We're not in the race to the bottom in pricing, race here, are we? So you want someone that's flexible. You want someone that's willing to refer other customers to you, maybe that will pass your name around on an ongoing basis. They'll become your great referral partner, that customer that you really build a relationship and have a long-term relationship with. Maybe you're buying them a gift certificate every now and then to keep that going. So the best way to think about this is your customer in terms of what are their pains and frustrations, what are their goals and desires, what are the fears and implications of those fears? What are their dreams and aspirations? And so, as you think about this, make sure you're kind of jotting this down so that you can really dial in who is your ideal customer. Have you really thought about that? Maybe you haven't. Maybe now's the time. This really is an important exercise that I want you to do to think about that ideal customer and see the world and your company and from their perspective through their eyes, and that will help you understand what they're looking for a little more, not you just thinking you know what they're looking for because this is your business. Maybe spending some time here can really help out. What we found here in the remodeling industry is we're typically talking about homeowners that are on average between 35 and 55 years old, typically not younger. They're not buying houses yet. The older ones probably aren't doing much remodeling anymore. These folks typically have a career. They're making good money. They've got some disposable income. They've got the ability to maybe to take out a second line of credit if they need it for that deluxe kitchen remodel. Maybe a dual income family. Typically, the female of the household is the one making the buying decisions. As I always say, happy wife equals happy life. We all know that. So, keep the wife happy, and everything's going to work really well in your household for the most part. Typically, married, 2, 3 kids. This head of the household, she's the one probably driving the day-to-day decisions for her family. The annual income can also vary greatly from one market to the next, depending on your small markets. Small market like Toledo, Ohio, versus say Denver, Colorado, where we're located. So be clear on what your average, household income is, so that you can set your targeting based around that. Also, these are probably family-oriented people. They really want to have a functional kitchen, maybe office space to work at home. They might get easily frustrated, have concerns with their current living situation, or why they're really needing your services, or they probably don't have time to deal with this. Um, I was just talking this week with a business owner that completes kitchens in a week or less, an entire kitchen remodel in a week or less. And so for him, that's obviously addressing a real concern from consumers. That's really going to be a message that resonates, because people don't want to be out of their kitchen for 2 months. So getting that messaging on point can really help you define what your messaging is going to be for your ideal customer. And then also thinking about their fears and frustrations. This is when you can really start to craft messaging that really resonates, because, like I mentioned, maybe their families has outgrown that tiny kitchen space. Maybe they don't want to lose that kitchen for 2 or 3 months. Maybe they need to convert the basement into a playroom for the growing kids, or convert it into an office space. What you're really trying to do is bridge that knowledge gap in your targeting. Maybe they can't get a company on the phone. They can't get anyone to even pick up to get a consult set. I know that's not happening with anyone on this call, but oftentimes, I'll try to call a plumber or some electrician, or someone to come out and fix something. And more often than not, I can't get people to even pick up the phone. It's so frustrating. And it just makes me think, how are you running a business if you're not answering your phone? I don't get it. Um, we had a home builder client once that refused to answer his phone, just said, "Oh, they'll call back if they really want to talk to me." And I thought, "What are you talking about?" It just left me shaking my head, and then wondering, what he was actually thinking when he said his marketing wasn't working that great for him. Well, hard to have your marketing work when you don't take phone calls from potential clients. So you really want to think about all these things, and make sure that you get on the phone and understanding your potential customer, what their pains and frustrations are, what their biggest fears are. Having contractors coming into their house, coming and going, maybe every day for months on end. They don't want to be canceling meetings to have to meet with you. That inconvenience is really big in the home improvement space. People don't want to be inconvenienced. So, and then from a goals and desires perspective, they just want the issue fixed, right? They want to be able to get it done, not have to worry about it, check it off the list, and get a great result, and then move on with their lives and start enjoying their new remodeled space. Um, and so really think about that. Robert just kind of commented here that um, design options and a customer having confidence in their contractor. Yeah, obviously they want to have that confidence in you, understanding their needs is really going to be important. And they want a contractor they can trust, right? So, no, Allison also said, yeah, same thing. Trust is a big factor. So, yeah, they're really looking for professionalism, and they don't want to be overcharged, things like that. So, what is it that you found that your customer really wants? Really think about that. What is it you're hearing on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis? What kind of feedback are you getting when you're having those consultations on the phone? Write those down, and then figure out some scripting that can really address those, and that way you're not winging it every time with a different answer every time. Really try to dial in to how you can answer those things. It's really worth thinking about this on an annual basis, because that messaging and that clarity that you can get from who your customer is will really inform you on how to write the content for your website, for how we write social posts for our clients, the type of ads that we run, and the messaging, the types of YouTube videos that you may be producing, like us. We're producing a lot of videos nowadays. It's really important. So you really want to get clear on who that ideal customer is, and how that can change some of your messaging that you're engaged in. And then why should somebody do business with you versus the competition? It shouldn't be the obvious stuff like offering free estimates or just saying you're the best in town or you've got 20 years of experience. It really should be based on what it is about your company that's different, what really makes you stand out in your field. If you can find a point of difference and distinction that really, gives you that massive bump in how your marketing converts, that's going to be way better for you and helping you stand out from all the other competitors out there that you're up against. And then, what benefit, do you offer your target avatar, your ideal customer that's going to really resonate? What's really hitting those hot buttons? The more you can hit these hot buttons when you're on your website and when they're, reading social updates, the better. So, it could be that ease of scheduling or being able to handle all the city permits for you, make all those trips downtown to the county building, which I know is an absolute pain in the butt when we had to do it here. These are the things that are going to really speak to your customers. Things like not being inconvenienced, or just having straightforward, transparent, upfront pricing, satisfaction guaranteed. Just take the risk off of them and make them feel confident that you're not going to rip them off. They really want trustworthy contractors and employees and trusted tradesmen that are experienced in their craft that can kind of come and go every day in your house and also produce a great result for you as well. And then, we can really start to really craft that reason why, those fast, quick consultations, maybe money saving offers, seasonal offers that some of you might do that are in landscaping or pools or decks or sunrooms, things like that you can offer people that really get them to maybe bite over the winter when it's really slow for you. You don't want all that business, come rushing in all at once at the spring. So maybe you've got some seasonal offers that you can entertain them with over the winter, get some more business flowing in. Maybe you work 24 hours a day. If you're, a couple of the HVAC folks that I saw jump on the call earlier, people that will leave your house cleaner than when they came in. So, think about the type of messaging that you want to be using that will really resonate with your ideal customer in order to really make sure that you're standing out from all your other competitors that probably really aren't thinking about this kind of stuff at this deep of a level. And the next important thing is really to make sure your website, the core of everything that you do is built to convert. In today's day and age, all the marketing that you do offline as well as online leads back to your website. It's what we call your digital storefront. So whether it's from SEO, your pay-per-click marketing, your social media outreach, TV ads, radio ads, billboard ads, whatever, having branded, wrapped, vehicles and trucks out in the community, local neighborhood flyers that you're advertising, all of it points back to your website. If your website isn't built to convert at the highest level possible, you're going to be losing out on opportunities. And what that means is you're leaving money on the table. So that's why it's really important to have a website that converts. We call that conversion rate optimization. It's all about, how can you convert more site visitors and customers that come to your site. It's one thing to get people to your site, the number of visits. It's quite another to actually get them to convert, to actually make that call or submit that web form. And so, just looking at a sample website here, you want to think about some of the important conversion elements, having a phone number in the top right-hand corner where everyone's looking for it, making sure that it's a click to call because most people are accessing the internet on their phones, their mobile phones, making sure you've got some good messaging and content above the fold. I've looked at a couple sites this week, in fact, and it's just a picture. That's it. You just land on a site, just one huge picture. No messaging, no text overlay. You don't even see the text below it. You got to actually start scrolling before you can see some messaging. So you want to make sure that above the fold space has something people can work with, text, content, maybe a contact form, an offer, something like that to really entice them. Making sure you have strong title tags, unique content, unique heading tags for all your different paragraphs, reviews that showcase your reputation, things like that that's going to really entice them to want to work with you. This website here is a sample. It could be more authentic if the owners, would put some more pictures up, more videos is really powerful. Maybe even adding a chat feature to their website. More and more people want to just chat to get the conversation going. Maybe they're at work, maybe they can't really, get on the phone, but they can sneak out a chat or message or two to set up a call or set up a consult even. And so you want to have that option. Some, like I said, some sort of multimedia or video on your homepage. That keeps people on your website longer as they're engaging with that video. So Google sees that. It also lets them know who you are. Lets them, kind of get a peek at who you are and a little bit more about your company and your company values, maybe, and already answer some of their question in a message you've put out there. We're not talking about technical stuff. We're just talking about the generic stuff of who you are, why you started your company, and your kind of core values. That's really going to resonate with some of these people. You really want to have well-written content that addresses their needs, those pains, those fears, those frustrations, things like that really speaks to them. And then just to, kind of show you, what can happen when you transition a website from poor conversion to an optimized, real high converting website. You can see, where we took over and those numbers really popped up. Where that volume went up in those last graphs. And now you can look at kind of where they're at from a cost per lead perspective, total number of leads they're bringing in, really healthy volume there for them, what that revenue potential is. And then most importantly, what's that look like from an ROI perspective? Are you getting more money back than what you put in? So that's really important for you as well, to really make sure you're tracking that ROI. If you put $10 in or a dollar in, you get $10 back. That's good ROI. These numbers here, these are basically putting a dollar in and closing 1 out of 5 leads, you get $44.64 back. So these are some really good numbers that you really want to think about. Am I getting ROI like that? Are you getting putting a dollar in, getting $1.25 back? That's not going to cover your overhead, your salaries, your profit, things like that. So you really want to make sure that you're up there at 500%, 1,000% based on gross numbers when you really get a website to convert and you really start seeing some of that money come through. And so here's a little worksheet that we have, what we call our website optimization cheat sheet. If you need a copy of this, let me know. You can get this on our website, but if you post in comments, I'll make sure to follow up with you with this website conversion blueprint, we call it. It just kind of outlines the things that you need to make sure that you have in place from a design perspective, like, where you should put your logo, where that phone number should be up in the right-hand corner. Just making sure you have great testimonials and social proof on your site, things like that. You take a screenshot here if you want. It's just some basic things that a lot of people still don't have in place. And so, as you go through your website with an eye towards conversion elements and you're really trying to ascertain, is your website truly built to convert? I want you to really take a couple minutes here and think about that and what you're trying to accomplish. Do you have all the key ingredients here? Does your website speak to your target avatar? Does it address their fears and concerns? Things like that. Do you have real authentic imagery, real photos of jobs that you're completing, pictures of your staff, videos, things like that you really want to have on here? This is really important. I won't, go through reading all these, but you really want to make sure you're showcasing the best of what you've got here on your website. Obviously your reviews should be on there. You need to have a testimonials page. I see a lot of websites nowadays that don't even have a testimonials page on their website. Call to actions, really making it easier for them to reach out to you and get in touch with you. Do you part of any associations or the BBB, or do you have any other kind of authority imagery that you can add to your website? If you do link to them, make sure they open it in a different browser window. Making sure you have calls to action on your website. Those call to action buttons. Book a free consultation here. See our offers here. here, and then it takes them to different pages, perhaps to squeeze pages for offers, maybe a contact page to contact them. Just making sure you have opportunities that they can really get in touch with you, engaging via chat, things like that. And then most importantly is having call tracking in place, making sure you're tracking every single call, listen to every single call, and seeing, how many calls you're getting, how many are actual leads, and then what happens to those leads? Do they get set for consults? Do they close for jobs? Do they get lost because you don't have good follow-up in place? We talked about good sales follow-up in a webinar a couple months ago. We'll probably be doing that again, a similar webinar in 2025. But having good call tracking and lead follow-up in place are two of the biggest pain points that I see, where we help a lot of folks make a big impact with those small changes. And then really the real elephant in the room right now is the biggest marketing issue facing builders, remodelers, and home improvement companies is unconverted leads. I just kind of led into that with that sales follow-up and how important it is. The problem is 50 to 60% of inbound leads leave your website unconverted. They don't make the call, they don't submit a web form, they don't book an appointment for that consultation, for many reasons. The bottom line is, though, they don't book. For remodelers, these are big decisions, big money decisions, and so a lot of people they're just not ready to make that call. They're not ready to book yet. They're maybe in the shopping mode. Maybe they're reading your blog post on what a remodel should cost, what a new deck should cost, what to think about when you're in the market for one of those services, that sort of thing. And then also to remember is that 90% of web forms fail to convert. A lot of those they go unnoticed in email, or they end up in your spam box, and people just aren't following up with those. And so the reasons you're getting leads that go unconverted are most people aren't following up on leads quick enough. Those leads go cold. They end up ghosting you. I tell everyone, you really got to follow up these folks quickly. The average human being has an attention span of a goldfish, about 7 to 8 seconds. So that's not much. If you're not following up with them within just a few minutes, 5-10 minutes at the most, they're just going back in the search results and moving on to the next contractor. And another rule of thumb is a potential customer must be followed up with at least 5 to 7 times. I've seen stats that it takes 13 to 21 follow-ups for people to actually end up booking something or buying something. People are just busy these days. Life's hectic. You've got so much going on. They just, you just need to put a follow-up in place, an automated process, not every day. You're not hounding them. Maybe every few days. Maybe it starts, drifting out to once a week. You're sending them a case study, some new pictures, a new testimonial. Just vary it up. That way it doesn't feel so intrusive. A lot of people, they really want that direct communication. So think about, chat and chatting with them via your cell phone, or having a chat widget on your website. For remodelers, not as many people want to chat as someone, like, say, they just want to book a plumbing appointment or an HVAC appointment. But think about that. Try it, and that's the only way you can really tell is if it's worth it. Try it out, and if you start getting some people using that feature, well, heck, that might turn into $50,000 worth of income for you, just one little chat. So think about that and don't overlook that. The solution here is really to leverage marketing automation. So you're following up on web forms. Like I said, within that first 2 minutes of submission, you've got all kinds of automation in place afterwards: phone calls, emails, text messages. Maybe you reach out on social if they've been engaging there with you. You really want to automate this follow-up process. So that every prospect is getting touched multiple times. Basically, if people aren't replying to you, most likely they just haven't made any effort. They haven't booked with anyone. They haven't got the job done. Just because they're ghosting you doesn't mean that they've went with someone else. When they've went with someone else, when they really don't want to hear from you again, that's going to be when they tell you, I don't want to hear from you again, or they're going to click your unsubscribe button or something like that. And then okay, we're done with that person now. We can move them off the list, move them out of our follow-up funnel, and not think about them anymore. But if they're not doing that, then most likely they're still in the game, and you should still be in the game with them. And so, just some simple math to follow up and illustrate an example of what good follow up looks like. Let's say your conversion rate is about 30%, but you've got poor follow up, poor lead nurture, in other words. If that's the case, your conversion rate might be more like 10%, but let's just use 30% to make you feel good about it. And then you look and see what happens on the right side of the slide here. What happens when you bump that conversion rate up to 70%? You're just basically doubling from a 1 in 3, 33% to say 66, 70%. But look what it does to your bottom line revenue. It's over 2 times the revenue. That's a lot of money there. That's a lot more money. You're talking $2 million more in your bank using this example here by just having good follow-up, some good automation, putting some more reminders in place for you to follow up with a quick phone call in between some of that automated follow-up. So this is something that will definitely help you close more jobs, book more revenue, and will keep you a step ahead of the competition as well. And so just think about this, while we've got our thinking caps on, what are your takeaways so far? What have you learned so far? What will you implement? I'd like to see some comments here. What are you going to take action on? Because this is, we want you to come away with actionable insights here, things that you will implement, in your business. Katie says, add an authentic team images instead of the stock photos. Yeah, Google knows those are stock photos. They know that they're everywhere else on the internet. So you're getting a demotion, you're getting dinged, in the algorithm for that. Tom said he also likes the idea of real team photos, but he wants to make his website more inviting, more personal. Yeah, more personalized messaging, basically. That's going to really help showcase your jobs a little more there. Yep. Yep. No, yeah, it makes sense. Getting more call to action buttons there, Amy. Yeah. So, a few comments coming in. I'm glad to see you guys are still awake so far. Let's keep plowing through. I don't want to go too long today, but there's a lot to cover when you really think about how you're going to have success in the whole new year. And step four is making sure you know your KPIs, especially as it relates to your marketing KPIs, your key performance indicators. These are the goals that you want to break down every quarter in terms of your, tracking for your return on investment, your call volume. How much is that, really turning into actual leads and actual booked consultations? Really calculating your average cost per call. What is that really boiling down to? You really want to have a dashboard set up for this. I was talking with someone just the other day about that. They don't really know what their cost per lead is. They know how much their marketing is. They know they're doing well. They got a good idea on their ROI, but they don't really know what their cost per lead is. Are you paying $50 per lead when it comes down to it? Or are you paying $500 per lead? These are big differences to think about. You might still be making money, good revenue, but are you paying too much for your leads? And so then how do you adjust that? How do you incorporate some different strategies, maybe some split testing, things like that can really help you dial that in and drive that cost per lead lower. And then you really want to have some kind of a basic KPI, ROI kind of board that you have set in place. How much did you spend? That includes your management fees or ads you're paying to Google or Facebook. Doesn't include salaries, things like that. That's part of your company overhead. But marketing, how much you're actually spending on marketing, and then what kind of revenue are you getting out of that based on your close rate, and then what does that ROI look like? Like I said earlier with this screenshot here, $1 in gets you $44 out at closing 1 out of 5 leads. So that's an acceptable close ratio, 20%. I'd like to see it higher, but hey, if you can still get 4,400% return on investment from that, then you're doing pretty good, and you're just going to want to keep doing more of that. And so, as you build your 2025 marketing plan, you want to think about the specific things that you want to be doing. This is our online dominance wheel. Um, and really, this is everything that you can be doing. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. You can take a screenshot if you want me to send this to you. I will as well. Just put that comment in chat. But we're really talking about the foundation of your website in number one. We're talking about Google pay-per-click ads. Does it make sense to put more money in pay-per-click? It's going to be a higher cost per lead, I'll tell you that. But maybe you're really maxing out your SEO potential. You really want to think about that SEO potential from Google, and then how Facebook kind of contributes to that. All those directories out there, Yelp and Angie, some of those lead generation sites like House and Porch, Google local service ads, Thumbtack, all those. You really want to think about, do you have an email marketing plan, newsletters going out every single month at minimum? Do you have a referral program? Do you give out gift cards and incentivize people that way? What are you doing in terms of video marketing? YouTube, Facebook, Instagram Reels, TikTok. And then, what are you doing for your automated review system, and what kind of review automation do you have in place there so that you're getting more reviews? I see some successful companies on here, but I also know that you're not getting more than one review every month or two, and that's not going to cut it. It's you got to get more reviews than that. It really helps move the needle. So just think about where you need to focus. You may not be doing all these things. Maybe you are, but maybe you need to put a little more focus on one over the other. So think about what you need to be doing for your business. And then I really want to get into some of the biggest trends for 2025, some things you've heard of, some things maybe you haven't heard of. There's a lot happening in the digital marketing space. There's no way that you can be a business owner and try to run your business, run your staff, run your design consults, run your project management, do all these, wear all the hats in the business, like the Michael Gerber's The E-Myth book, which is highly encouraged read. And then try to keep on digital marketing too. It's really hard to keep up on all that. So let's go through some trends here and talk about those. We've all kind of heard of AI, right? Artificial intelligence. Woo, there's a big one. Quick show of hands, who's using AI in their business right now? Let me know in the comments. Give me a yes or no if you're using AI in your business right now. Michael says yes. Ryan, yes. Drew, yes. Colleen says, not yet. Okay. Colleen, that means you're heading that direction. Sean says yes. Monica said they've just started using it. Mario says no. So mostly yeses. We're getting some no's. It sounds like most people are using it. Mostly it's being used for writing content, right? For writing blog posts, social media posts. But AI is definitely finding its way into design and planning and many more uses to come. It's really finding its way into the world of marketing and SEO, Google's algorithm, even for keyword research, optimizing content that's already been written. And we have our own writers, but we also use AI to kind of see if we're missing any ideas that we can throw in and add to what we've already written. So also maybe getting some insights from AI on audience behavior. So AI is definitely here to stay, and it will find its way into our lives more and more in every facet of our lives. We're going to be doing a future webinar that talks specifically about AI, but I think we've got so many trends this year that we're really looking at, paying attention to. We're probably going to be doing a whole webinar just on all these key trends because there's just too much for me to go over here without running too long in this webinar. I don't want to keep you guys for 90 minutes. So we'll also be talking about the rise of voice search and optimizing for that type of search. That's only going to keep growing in voice popularity with voice assistants like Alexa and Google Assistant. Those voice searches, the more conversational, question-based searches, looking for question-based content, that's going to really start to have a big impact in how search is done, kind of like those Q&As that you see on Google business profile pages or on websites. We do that for all of our clients, both of those. So really think about that. AI is also going to affect the personalization of content. In other words, AI will help enable that granular targeting, that hyper personalized content that is tailored to individual user preferences and the intent of each consumer search. So that personalization is really going to enhance your user engagement and help you reduce those bounce rates, people just kind of bouncing off your site going somewhere else, and that's going to, of course, help improve your SEO rankings. So we talk about personalization. We're talking about dialing in that message to your ideal customer a little more and what you can produce content wise that speaks directly to them. Another way you can address those trends and help you stand out from your competition is that as a video first strategy. We know that video engages people way more than text content. It's that reason why cat videos go viral. Most people, they love to sit and watch videos. And if they're going to do business with you, would they rather hear from you, the owner, the marketing director, or a project manager, or would they rather sit there and just read your website blogs? So that's pretty easy answer there, right? Short form video content is only going to keep growing in popularity. Those reels that I talked about, TikTok, YouTube as well. So make sure you're getting on video and you're really giving answers to people and questions they may have. Think of all the queries and questions you get and those introductory phone calls, and then make videos on each one of them. That's what we do. All the questions we get. How do I do SEO better? Or what does call tracking really mean? I get that question, I write it down, and now I'm going to go make a video on it at some point in time. So you need to be doing things like that as well. One of the biggest things that happened with Google in terms of their algorithm changes lately, and the biggest shift is on their principle of EAT, EEAT, which stands for experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trust. And so what this means for you is Google's emphasis is on high quality content, that demonstrates your expertise and your firsthand experience. That's going to be the content that gets rewarded the most. And so you really want to make sure that your content strategies are really highlighting those principles of EAT. That's what's going to really build credibility and authority for your site. And then also zero click search results, if you've heard of that. Um, these are those results that just feature in that position zero at the top of Google, essentially that coveted top spot that Google's AI is starting to answer some of those questions with, but they're answering it based on what they found on your website. And then they kind of rewrite it, but the link will go to your website. So this content, people will see that it's giving really more concise answers, specific lists or tables that they might be looking for, maybe a kitchen remodeling cost calculator, something like that. It's very AI dependent. That's going to keep growing. So that's just something to keep an eye on as we move forward. This is definitely going to be a strategy that just keeps evolving and evolving, though. So trust me on that one. Visual search optimization is also going to take a seat at the table as we move forward in search strategy. Tools like Google Lens will drive the importance of visual SEO, optimizing your images for search. So that means employing high quality, keyword optimized images, appropriate alt text added in order to attract more search traffic. Think about how visual people are, especially how visual our remodeling industry is. It's really all about the visuals of a beautiful home or kitchen remodel, a new stunning custom home build, a beautiful new deck and hot tub, like I just built for my house. Like these are the things that really stand out. And you also want to pay attention to your website's core vital statistics and the user experience, UX, what we call it. We'll talk about this a lot more in our website optimization webinar, and also when we talk about the key trends a little more in that webinar at the beginning of next year. But you want to think about core vitals like your page load speed and site interactivity and how those influence rankings. An example I can share here, I just looked at a site earlier this week with a potential client that they did sign up with us, but their load speed was a full 52 seconds. That's how long it took to fully paint their website once you went to that website. So, it just blew my mind. I've never seen 52 seconds. That's absolutely incredible. No one's going to wait that long. They're not going to wait a minute. They're going to go right back into the search results. They're going to find another competitor's website and they're going to click on that. So really think about, websites going to, SEO is going to be getting more and more technical. That's what we focus on. You really need to think about, keeping yourself educated on these technical topics. So follow our videos, follow other SEO gurus out there, some of the SEO blogs, not necessarily marketing companies, that talk more about SEO technical factors. They talk about mobile first designs. These are things that are going to really start dominating the top of search. And then one kind of interesting concept I think that's going to really start finding its way into digital marketing more is sustainability in marketing. Digital marketers are going to have to focus on a more kind of eco-conscious branding and creating content for companies that really aligns with environmentally friendly values. Now, I'm not going overboard here. I'm not saying that digital marketing and digital production, it doesn't put much waste in the landfills or anything like that, obviously. But customers want to know that your brand demonstrates sustainability, and that's going to help you really stand out in their eyes, help you retain more of that ethically minded audience, particularly the younger homeowners that really align with these values nowadays. The younger homeowners are really thinking about these things. They're really more conscious on that. And so, hats off to them. Good props there. But now you, as the business owner in the home improvement industry, you have to think about how can you align your company values and your content around that as well. And then when it comes to search intent, search engines will become even better at understanding that nuanced user intent, what people are really looking for from an informational standpoint, a navigational standpoint, or simply just transactional intent. They just have direct commercial intent. They don't want to read a lot of stuff about how much a kitchen remodel costs. They are looking for somebody they can call right now. So make sure that your content's aligning precisely based on the type of intent behind user queries in order to rank effectively. You can't just be pumping out all this generic AI written blog post, and you're going to have to get more specialized in the kind of content you're putting out there. And then another trend that we'll be seeing more of is the rise of interactive and immersive content. In other words, interactive content like augmented reality, virtual reality type of experiences, walking through, doing a walkthrough of a home remodel, maybe. Maybe 360-degree view videos, drone videos. We have some roofing clients that use drone videos to great effect. Maybe interactive polls and quizzes. All this stuff's going to be gaining more and more traction going forward. So keep an eye on your website, your SEO metrics in terms of this content, the pages you're putting this content on, and just kind of see how that affects your search rankings and your conversion rates. And then kind of, speaking of different platforms, social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram, they're going to continue to solidify their role as search engines for the younger demographics. Remember, for the younger generation and up and coming homeowners of the future, video and social media is how they digest their content. They're not so much into search. They don't use email much. And so you're going to need to adapt to this type of content and these type of SEO strategies as well. Including learning how to use hashtags, keyword optimization for captions, and then, platform specific content design, since all of them are so different. And then local SEO and Google Maps, what we call it. This has been some of the most effective and most important SEO strategies out there. You're already seeing an increased focus on the near me searches, the localized content, in other words, that keeps growing in mobile usage, continues to outpace the desktop searches. So optimizing your Google business profile, using your localized keywords, all that's going to continue to drive significant amounts of traffic. we're not seeing anything now that's really going to change that. So really keep an eye on your Google Maps, your Google Business Profile marketing. This is stuff that's really moving the needle. This is where most of the phone calls come from. Up to two-thirds of the phone calls really come from that. And then also privacy-driven marketing is really going to start showing its teeth a little more these days. We've already seen that with iPhones being able to turn off ad tracking. That hit pretty hard for a lot of people on Facebook. This trend's only going to continue as data privacy laws continue to shift digital marketing strategies toward ethical data collection and cookie-less tracking. People don't want you capturing all that info on them. So this is really going to affect ads and retargeting, and so contextual and intent-based targeting will replace that heavy reliance on personal data gained through tracking mechanisms, and maybe some tracking mechanisms that aren't so above the board. And then lastly, Google's advancements in natural language processing will continue to refine search results. We've all heard of that neuro-linguistic programming, and what that means is, key trends going forward, high quality, contextually relevant content will really win the day when it comes to search ranking. Emphasizing the value and relevancy of your content over the sheer volume of content you're pumping out. So there's really a lot happening in digital marketing right now, a lot of change taking place, a lot of refinement in the strategies that you might already be using, that might already exist. So you're really going to need to stay up on your marketing and strategies. It's really going to become a full-time job for you. So think about what you're going to do to continue having success for your company and grow in revenue. In 2025, successful SEO strategies will merge that technical expertise more so than ever. That user-centric content will win the day. And cutting edge AI will have a big impact in order to adapt changing search behaviors and technology. So there is a lot to pay attention to, that's for sure. I kind of breezed through all of these key trends for 2025, just for the sake of brevity. We've went over an hour here, so I want to just try to cover all that more in depth in a webinar in the near future. And we'll do a deeper dive into some of that stuff, specifically, just those key trends and not trying to map out your entire marketing plan. Just circling back here to our online dominance wheel, pick the strategy or strategies that you really want to focus the most on, and then hit those hard in order to achieve your goals in 2025. Try not to bite off more than you can chew. Really, just pick one or two strategies and really give that your full attention and energy, and allowance in your budget. We've covered a lot of ground here. I've given you guys a lot to think about in terms of your custom 2025 marketing plan. Just spend 5 minutes after we end here on today's session, just an extra 5 minutes, and go through some of the notes you've taken and think about, okay, what can I really start working on right now? Don't just go back to work and get busy and then forget all the stuff that we've just talked about. We really want to help you magnify your results going into 2025. So definitely spend some time on that. I think it will help give you more clarity on your marketing strategy and really your path forward to greater success. I hope everyone's gotten some good value, some real actionable value out of this workshop, and will dedicate themselves to mapping out a plan to succeed in 2025. Remember that saying, if you fail to plan, then you are planning to fail. Really take that to heart. Make sure you actually implement some strategies that we talked about here today. Give yourself a fighting chance to hit your goals in 2025. That starts right here, right now, with picking 3 things that you learned today that you can say, hey, I'm going to implement these and make it happen. Drop me a note, send me an email, drop me a call, drop me a note on Facebook, whatever. Let me know what's working, what's not. Let me know if you've got some value out of this. That'd be great. If you need some help, mapping out a strategy, or just, have some questions, don't hesitate to call or chat with us on that. We'd love to help you out here, but it's been an honor to spend this time with you today. Hopefully you're feeling more prepared to actually crush it here in 2025, to have your best year yet. To some of our clients that were on the call today, I want to thank you for your business again. It's been an awesome year. I know we've had some great results for the folks I've seen on here. I really appreciate you taking the time to jump in here and spend some time with me. Put your thinking caps on a little bit. We really love working with you. That's going to be a wrap for us. Let's go ahead and we'll close the session here. Thank you again for all your time. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to spend some time with me. Hopefully, you got some great value out of this webinar. Drop a thank you in the chat if you will. That'll make me feel a little better. Type in value, maybe put some capital letters on it or something. Let me know you've really gotten some good value out of this. I'll look forward to seeing you guys on the next webinar after the new year. We might run this again. We had a lot of good demand here, so we'll see. But anyways, you guys have a blessed rest of your day, rest of your week. Happy holidays to everyone, and we'll see you on the next webinar. Take care, everyone.